Hello, you beautiful souls. This is Nikki Knox again. Today, I would like to talk about the guilt we feel when we actually just need to chill. The guilt we feel when we need time for ourselves. The guilt that we feel that other people have it so much worse than we do, and how we forget about the fact that our feelings matter too. We actually get lost amongst everybody else if we're not careful. So what I mean by this is, I think every giver, and I'm gonna just follow through with this, I think throughout my podcast, there's always givers and takers, as I mentioned in the previous episodes. Every giver always reaches the point where they feel that it's not safe. Nobody is strong enough to carry their problems, basically. So everybody's leaning on them, but there's no one for them to lean on, if you know what I mean. Because by that time where you reach this point when you feel like there's just nobody for me, or I don't even matter because everybody else has it so much worse than you do, you probably overgiven already. People, and I am getting choked up on this, to be honest, simply because that's where I've been for majority of my life. Probably only the last several months, it's not even a year yet, that I actually learned that other people's happiness is not my responsibility. I actually woke up one morning with this phrase in my head: other people's happiness is not my responsibility. It really changed my life. This phrase alone, it actually really, really changed my life. I felt like, so I had a partner which I was trying so hard for over a decade to make happy. So by doing that, you kind of, once you see it within yourself that it's your responsibility to make someone else happy, you neglect yourself. So your happiness is no longer priority. You don't even think about it. You kind of, when you're in that situation, you kind of find your happiness through that person. So you're not living your own life, you're living your life through that person. So everybody's gonna be able to recognize themselves in this situation where you want one thing and let's say your partner wants something else, something completely different, but that partner is way more expressive of what he wants because he's likely a taker, right? So they have no issue saying, no, that's not what I want, I don't want this, blah 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 blah. So they're very expressive of that. You're, however, more of a peace lover, so whatever goes. Often the takers in these situations would be very argumentative if things don't go their way, and all you want is peace. So you just go, okay, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to go to that restaurant, it's fine. That's just for the sake of it. I'm just gonna shut up and just go somewhere. Being a vegan, I'll just go to a steakhouse. It's okay. I'll just eat salad on the side, you know. Whereas if we went to somewhere where they serve vegan food, I could actually have some, interesting new things. By the way, vegan diet is not boring at all. It could be awesome experience as well. Just saying. So when you're in that situation where you feel like you've exhausted all of your resources on everybody else and there's no one else that you can lean on because everybody else have expressed their concerns, somebody's mom is dying, somebody can't travel to see their family, somebody's kid is ill, or all sorts of things. So you can't just go, and you feel like you can't go and talk to anybody because your problems in the grand scheme of things are not that big. But to be honest, you make their problems so much bigger than they are, because in the grand schemes of things, their problems are not that important either. Definitely they're not your problem, so that's why they shouldn't bother you. So other people should be responsible for their own happiness, for their own well-being and stuff, instead of leaning on you. They should be making their own decisions instead of leaning on you, and they should damn well be taking responsibility and accountability for their own actions instead of just expecting you to shut up and crack on with it, basically. So the second you're gonna stop doing that, people will turn their backs on you, because they were basically treating you as a doormat this whole time, and now you're changing, so they're not gonna like it. But that's the only way for you, when you reach that point, to actually claim some of that energy back. You need to stop being there for other people. You need to actually dig your heels in and say, well, I can't lean on you when I need you, so you're not getting this from me. You need to really start thinking about that equal give and take. Is it equal? If you're always there for somebody as a helping hand, but when you need something, the conversation may focus on you for like 30 seconds. Okay, maybe half an hour, right? But maybe you're spending the whole day with that person, and you only got half an hour in the whole day, and the rest of the day was all about them. And even when you try to talk about your problems, they make it all about themselves. So this is not friendship. This is not being there for somebody. You need to start seeing these things. You need to start recognizing these things, because that's where your energy leakages are. When people just take from you and they don't reciprocate, they don't give anything back, or they don't give equal amount back, they're draining you. It shouldn't be like that. Your energy needs to flow back and forth. It needs to be a perfect cycle. It's like ecosystem, right? It needs to just replenish itself as a natural thing. If it's just, you're never gonna be the one who just takes, because it's just not in your nature. But if the flow is broken, if the flow is obstructed, what are you really getting of that relationship? You need to really start looking into the value and the quality of your connections. We live in a society where so many people know your business. You post everything on YouTube, social medias. You post everything about your life. Everybody knows your business. You have hundreds, if not thousands, of followers and all that. How many of them are your actual friends? Even, it's not going to be thousands of them, right? You can't have 1,000 friends. Friend is someone who's there for you, who knows your secrets, who you share a deep bond with. Somebody that likes and comments under your pictures is not your friend. I mean, get real. If you think they are. People at work as well, they can be your friends as well. You bond on a different level, I think, with people at work, because you spend so many hours with them. So it's likely that you will have some friends at work as well, but what's more likely is that they're only friends because they can rant at you about their family and what's going on outside of work, and also rant at you about what's going on inside of work. So that's a double whammy for them. So be careful with people at work as well, because sometimes it's just very, very I'm not saying they're not your friends, I'm just saying that it's very surface level. More likely than not, it's very shallow kind of friendship, but lunches and drinks after work and little coffee chats and this and that, helping with the presentation and stuff. It's not really a friendship. But it still drains you. If you spend 8 hours with sitting next to that person, think about how much energy that person drains out of you when all you're doing is just going along with a shallow conversation. You think it doesn't affect you, it actually does. It actually depletes you slowly. It's like a slow burner of just just being nice, just trying to fit in. That's how we get lost. We just get numb to this. Because imagine if you're sitting next to somebody for 8 hours, they talk shit all the time. Maybe it's not one person, maybe it's more people, right? In the office, and they all talk shit all the time. It's hearing shit around yourself all the time. You kind of go on autopilot almost, and you just respond with these pre-recorded phrases just to be funny, or you try really hard to be funny on social media, just posting those one-liners of, that everybody's gonna love and blah blah blah, and then somebody replies to that with like ha ha ha, and you reply to that, I know, right? And what are you doing with your time? It's just really, I would really, really want everybody to actually look at their lives from this lens and just think, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? Why am I watching whatever TV programs that are on the telly? Why do I even have time for fucking telly? Life is too busy. I have this many aspirations. I want to do this and that and that. I'm busy with work, which I can't avoid because I need money to do things, right? Then I'm looking after the house, then I'm looking after the kids, I'm looking after my partner, looking after my family, and then I'm always there for my friends. When is there any time for me? When you're sitting in front of fucking telly, that's your time. If you have time to sit in front of the telly, you have the time for yourself. And time for yourself could be anything. You know who are the best people to be selfish enough to always make time for themselves? Smokers. They just fucking go. They just go outside whenever and they smoke. It's horrible for their health and everything, but you cannot talk them out of it. They always make time for themselves. More often than not, you will see lone smokers. They just sit there with their own thoughts for I don't know how long it takes to smoke a cigarette. I really don't never smoke, but they're there though. They actually leave. They stand up and leave. They have addictions which are valid, and businesses support them having their ciggy breaks, right? And we don't, people who don't smoke don't have that luxury. So our breaks are actually by talking to somebody at the coffee machine and stuff like that. I take my breaks in a fucking loo. I just go in the biggest cubicle I can find, and I don't know. Sometimes I just sit there and just go, oh my god. I can, it used to be like that. It's not like that anymore because it's only usually one person, and I don't do small talk. People know it. I go in the office and I just put headphones on, and that's my time. So that's how I deal with this. But I'll get back to that in a minute. But if you're a smoker, and you're already making that time to yourself, you don't actually realize that that's what you're doing. Kudos to you, right? It's an addiction and it's a bad habit and it's horrible for your health, and you stink to everybody else, by the way. But at least you're digging your heels in and you're actually going for allegedly, quote unquote, sarcastically, to get some fresh air when you're actually smoking. The thing is, you're leaving the premises and just disconnecting yourself from everybody else. Unless you're a social smoker, then you're fucked, basically, just like the rest of us. The way out of this, and simple things. So I keep talking about making time for yourself and doing this and that, and that. What if you're not watching telly, you're running around and you still don't have any time for yourself, right? Simple things. When you're driving, put the music on. Instead of having the music on, put a podcast on. Put on some meditation music instead. There are loads of meditations. It's solfeggio frequencies are really good, that you can play them in the background when you're driving a car. I don't know, make sure they're not the sleep ones, because sleep ones should not be played while you're driving. But in general, during the day, I make tons of time for myself, and I'm constantly in meditative state, because I would go into the office, and every single minute that I'm not on a call and I'm not talking to somebody else, I have my headphones on, and I don't care how antisocial I am. I have my headphones on and I have focus music on. and you can find them on YouTube. You just type in focus music, deep focus, brain cell regeneration, or 7 chakra cleansing, and this and that and that. You just make sure they're not the sleepy ones again, and you have them in the background, and it takes you somewhere. You don't lose any time. It's while you're focusing on something. It not only helps you focus to actually perform a better job without actually, it's effortless really. You just need to go on YouTube, click it, and it works its magic. Those frequencies, especially, as I said, they're called solfeggio frequencies, and each frequency has a different effect on the human body and mind and your soul. So try those. So it makes huge difference over time. If you get home and you go to bed, if you can do a little meditation before that, it's great. If not, even having some sleep music to play in the background. It may be a bit difficult when you have a partner, right? But if you live on your own, that's definitely worth doing. I'm not gonna say that you sleep longer, but the quality of your sleep is so much better. You will feel it after couple of days, even after a day. I can't remember how quickly they kicked in. I'm just talking about how that was one of the first things that I've done, even before my breakdown. I used to just do the sleep music before I go to bed, because otherwise after work, after being so busy with everybody else's business, I found it that the second I hit the bed, my brain just goes, oh my goodness, I have so much guilt. I should have done this. I should have said that. Oh, what about this? Oh, I really wanted to do that. That didn't get done because I got distracted by this. Why do I do this to people all the time? Oh, I'm a horrible friend. I'm a horrible girlfriend. I'm shit at work. I'm behind on this. Tomorrow is going to be this and that. How the hell am I supposed to switch off? So what I used to do, I used to go and sleep downstairs in front of a telly, because at least somebody's talking to me, like talking total bullshit. God forbid there's something interesting on the telly, then I'm fucked basically, and I have sleepless nights because I used to get into crime documentaries and stuff like that, which is absolutely calms your mind, right? I couldn't do this right now, but I used to just watch these programs, like something very completely mindless stuff as well. I know loads of people like to do that, but I kind of still like to watch something that stretches your brain a bit. So sometimes it would switch me off. Sometimes I would just switch focus on the program, which would stop me thinking about work and what I haven't done in the day or what's coming, and all the guilt of the world and all the shame and feeling behind and useless, right? So that's not healthy at all. So I then realized that all I need is somebody to talk in the background, so that I can't hear my own thoughts, so I can't so the guilt cannot eat me alive, basically. So for that, there's the really good solution, and the most simple solution is just put your earbuds in if you're sleeping with somebody else, or the headphones on. They actually have sleeping headphones now, so you kind of wrap that thing around your head and you can sleep in whatever position you want to sleep. If you get hooked on this, I think it's really good solution. But if not, just try that. Somebody talking to you, winding you down, and all the sleep meditations, they do actually wind you down, so they help you relax your body, they help you switch off your mind, your thoughts. The very good practices are just categorizing your thoughts. So even if you're not doing meditation, you can just pick up some tactics and some tools that they teach. For example, let's say you lay in bed and you got this many things going through your head. It's really good to just sit there and just go, okay, this is a thought, this is a feeling or emotion. Thought, feeling, or emotion. Once you recognize them, so one by one, you kind of go, oh, Todd said this, blah 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 blah. Is that a thought, a feeling, or emotion? And you just put them and almost just do like filing of those. The second you recognize that thing that's going on in your head, you recognize it and you categorize it, it goes away. The reason why your mind is in so much rush, with so many different things going through it, is because you ignore it, and it just gets louder and louder and louder because you try to silence it. It's almost like, telling a kid, don't go to that room. That's all he's going to think about, right? So I need to go to that room. What is it? It's not the same, but it's like you just tell your mind, I can't think about this right now, and that's all that you're going to be thinking about. It's going to be like a pest, that thing or that idea or feeling or emotion. So it's really good. So the secret to that is, if you don't want to turn anything on, just try and categorize those things. And while you're going to be categorizing those things, you're probably going to categorize 3 or 4, and then you're going to fall asleep because it's so boring. Because your mind is going to go, oh fuck, I'm so tired. I just want to sleep. And you're going to switch up. If you wake up in the middle of the night, so these are my secrets. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you cannot sleep for the life of you, start counting. It sounds stupid, it works. Start counting from 10,000 back. 9,999, 9,998, and stuff like that. Just keep counting. You're not gonna ever get out of 9,000s or even 9,900s. You're gonna fall asleep at around 46, the latest. That helps you calm your mind. So that's a really quick one as well. And it's really good to just take deep breaths before you lay down in bed, and you take 3 deep breaths, but really, really deep ones, and then you try and switch off. To me, these things helped in the beginning when I was going through all of those things. I think it was 6 weeks, the first 6 weeks after my breakdown, my fitness tracker tracks the hours of rest as well. It was showing that I sleep less than 10 hours a week. I don't know how I survived. I don't know how I kept clear mind. I don't know how any parts of my body functioned, but they did better than ever. To be honest, my mind was like so sharp. I am actually, usually for when I'm the most productive, I run on very few hours of sleep, but right now, since that breakdown, I do actually get some decent sleep, unless somebody's pulling on my energy, which is now a problem. So once you become spiritual, people and places and situations can actually pull on your energy. You need to learn how to block them. So as I mentioned, there are some good practices that help you relax as well and claim your energy back. I mentioned them in previous podcasts. It's the shower kind of rituals. So play back on the previous podcast and see to hear what they are. In general, the most important thing in life is not to lose yourself in the expectations of others. Good practice is to just do some journaling in general on a daily basis, even if it's before bed or in the morning or at your lunch break, whenever you feel like you need to offload something. Journaling is really good practice as well. If you right now ask yourself, who am I? And start journaling about it. Notice how many things would come out of you that would describe your roles, your responsibilities, expectations of others, and you would never actually get to who you are because you don't know. If you're listening to these podcasts trying to claim your energy back, you don't know who you are. You lost yourself in other people. You lost yourself in other people's expectations. So ask yourself this question and try, just out of curiosity, try and write things down to see who you are, to see what comes out when you actually sit down and think of who you really are. I am conscious that anything that I'm saying might be triggering to some people, but that's the goal. That is the goal, though. So if you're gonna, after listening to these podcasts, if you're gonna see yourself as the, falling in a hole and stuff like that, it's not falling in a hole. It's actually finally looking at your life from a higher perspective, basically. If you imagine, I always had this ability since a little child of seeing myself from, let's say, you're sitting here now facing the wall. I always had this ability to see myself from the corner behind me, from like ceiling behind me, from really high up. I could just see myself and what's happening. So that's what you need that kind of view on your own life. So you think that you're so busy, you're doing this and that and that, and then try to zoom out. If you rise above the whole situation, let's say you're in the meeting room, right, and you're doing this and that and that and doing the presentation, and just look at it from the side, from literally a higher perspective, because you're higher the ceiling, right? Look at it from the higher perspective and notice what do you see? What are you doing? How are the other people reacting? Do they even care about what you spend all of that time doing? Do they even care about what you're talking about? Are they just yawning? Is it pointless what you're doing? Are you happy with what you've done? Are you happy with what you're doing? Are you happy that you're contributing somehow in this world into making it better? What are you doing? What is your purpose? I mean, does your job actually get you anywhere, or does it just distract you from finding out who you are? Does it just keep you busy and makes you feel important and makes you feel like you're somebody? What does your job actually do for you? Apart from, I know you get salary, you get benefits, you got pensions, you got paid holidays, you got all of this. Now, for your soul, what does it do for your soul? There you stand there presenting something that you worked on for a week, and another 5 people were involved in this as well. You're presenting and you may be proud of all the hard work that you did, blah, 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 blah. What does that... Okay, so I'm not dismissing that you worked really hard on that. I'm just saying, so what? So you've done that presentation, you spend all of that time. Those people in the room are yawning. They don't care. It just needs to happen. That meeting needs to happen. That pack needs to be updated every month, because that's like some kind of MI, probably. Nobody really cares. Nobody does anything with that information. So what's the point? What are you paid for even? What are you doing? Just think about those little things. Think about how you lose yourself in these little tiny things that we're so used to seeing around ourselves. But what is the point? Just have a little think about it. So this is just a random episode of just whatever was on my mind, and I'm sorry that it wasn't super coherent this time. It's been a while since I recorded my last podcast, so just finding my feet back into those. But that's what I want my episodes to be, just my brain fart, basically. Whatever comes into my mind. Anything I say may be a trigger to somebody to actually look into their lives. So if this wasn't for you, I'm sorry. Listen to the other ones. Maybe there will be something in those. It's very difficult for me to even write descriptions of these podcasts, because I just dive in and out of all sorts of things, and it will work for some people and it won't work for others. So I'm really grateful for the ones who are finding this useful, or don't get completely annoyed with my formatting or lack of it. But remember that I'm here for you always. Look after yourself, take a break, do the journaling. Who are you? Who are you? Think about it. Love you, Nikki.